All right, good morning, guys. It is our first big slate Saturday, college football week 1. So, a little recap of last night. We went 2-0, up 2 units. First with FAU getting the cover on Michigan State. Again, ugly, sloppy game. That's exactly how we thought it was going to go. Michigan State, more talented, better team, but first game for a new coaching staff. Had to work out some kinks. You could see that 18-year-old Aiden Childs made some mistakes. And then FAU, Tom Herman, kind of an underdog covering machine, was able to get the cover there. So we got a win there. Good for us. And then in the night cap, Stanford with the cover on TCU. Almost gave it away there at the end, covering the whole game. And then at the very end, went for it on, 4th and a mile from like their own 20. And then gave up a touchdown to TCU for TCU to take the lead by 10. But they were able to come back, drive down the field, get a field goal, lose the game by 7, and give us the cover there. So good night last night. 2-0 brings us to 5-1 on the season in terms of units against the spread. And now we head into our real first test. This is where we need to clean up to get off to a good start. Obviously, however it goes, week 1, you still have a whole rest of the season. You're just trying to be positive. 54% in terms of the number of units that you play, but you want to get off to a good start so you're not trying to climb out of a hole. So we're going to look at the morning games right now. I'll be back at you guys a little bit later this afternoon as it pertains to some of these afternoon games. But 2 big ones that we're looking at in the morning, and then 1 in the early afternoon that we're looking at. So I'll start Penn State and West Virginia. A lot of maybe newer college football fans, more casual college football fans don't quite understand this rivalry and what it really means to the West Virginia side. It means a lot to the Penn State side, but it means a lot to the West Virginia side. Game is at West Virginia, true road game for Penn State. Penn State, I think, has an excellent team. I think they're a playoff team. I think Andy Kotelnicki is one of the best offensive coordinators in the country. He is massively a step up from Mike Yurcich, which I don't quite understand how he continues to have jobs in college football after his stops at all the D1 level and how kind of poor they go every time. But Andy Kotelnicki is one of the reasons why the Kansas offense was what it was over the past few years. I am interested in seeing how he operates without a mobile quarterback, without a Daniels or without a Bean. Drew Aller, I think, is fantastic. I know a lot of people only watched the Ohio State, Michigan games last year when it came to Penn State, so they don't think Drew Aller is all that he's hyped up to be. He is. Drew Aller will be a first-round NFL talent. He's got the size, he's got the arm, he's got the quick release. Very good. I think he and Andy will work well together. On the West Virginia side, a lot of the talk this offseason has been, Garrett Greene, mobile quarterback, Garrett Greene, mobile quarterback. And that's been a fun talking point. But I don't think people actually watched West Virginia last year. He's not Jaden Daniels. He's not Lamar Jackson, but he's whatever that tier is right below. It's not just that he's a mobile quarterback. He's electric. He can turn a 3rd and 15 into a first down with his legs. There will be multiple plays where throughout a game where he's solely the reason why something happens positive for West Virginia. Needs to limit the turnovers, absolutely. But if you really look at the second half of last season, he played quite well. So again, the emotion in this game, the desire for West Virginia, the fact that they're at home, we are going to be taking West Virginia plus the 8. You can still get that number at a few places. We're taking them plus the 8 for 2 units to start off the day, looking for them to come in and be strong. So then we move into what I think is maybe one of the biggest games of the day, the Aflac kickoff game, Georgia-Clemson at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Neutral site, not really. Playing Georgia in Atlanta is one of the more difficult things to do. Really, some of the only teams who've had success doing it was Ohio State in 22, obviously Alabama. That's also kind of not a neutral site game for Alabama as well, with how often they've been in Atlanta for SEC championship games, for kickoff games, for bowl games. But to come into Atlanta and beat Georgia is one of the more daunting tasks. Georgia and Ohio State, I think, are in a class amongst their own in college football this year, but not as maybe much as it has been in the past. And it's not like a 2019 LSU or a 2020 Alabama situation. They are very good. Georgia has the best offense in the country, but they do have some weaknesses, whereas maybe some of those teams in the past that were dominant did not. Clemson, I think the talk about Clemson's demise is much overblown. You have a lot of people who criticize Dabo for not taking any players in the portal. At the same time, they say the portal and the NIL is ruining college football. So if you feel that way, then you'd imagine Clemson would be your second favorite team behind your alma mater, but not really the point. The point is the number and what side are we going to be leaning on. I love Clemson in this one. They are one of the absolutely most talented teams in the country. They have a true five-star quarterback who I think, again, a lot of people have written off. The NFL has not. Cade is a very good quarterback. They're in a second year of Garrett Riley's system. Garrett Riley was the offensive coordinator for TCU when they went to the national championship a couple of years ago. They have some impact freshmen. They have some sophomores who didn't play the full year last year because they were hurt, especially at wide receiver. And I think they have a very good opportunity here to actually win this game outright, but I definitely like them to cover the 12.5. You can still get 12.5 at a few places as well. So we're going to be taking Clemson plus the 12.5 for 4 units. Most likely going to be the biggest play of the day today. We'll see how the rest of the afternoon and then the evening slate works out when I come back at you guys later today. But Clemson plus the 12.5 for 4 units. So that has us at West Virginia plus 8 for 2 units, Clemson plus 12.5 for 4. And then I got one bonus game later in the morning, early afternoon. It's going to be the Oklahoma State at home against South Dakota State. South Dakota State reigning back-to-back national champs for the FCS. They have one of the nation's longest winning streaks, and then they are coming into Oklahoma State, who is one of my favorite teams coming into the year. Love them in the Big 12, love their ability to possibly win that conference and get to the college football playoff. One of the best offensive lines in college football, essentially a 100-year-old quarterback, 7th-year starter, Alan Bowman, and then obviously Ollie Gordon, who's the one that everyone knows about. Some interesting stuff kind of coming out of that team, though, during the offseason. Some issues, I think, between maybe Mike Gundy and some of the players and using the media to try and deliver some messages. That's an interesting move. Some feelings that maybe Gundy and Ollie are a little bit at odds. I don't think any of that's going to matter once they get onto the football field. Both those guys want to win. They're highly competitive to the point of going a bit beyond sometimes. I mean, you saw Ollie's emotional reaction when they played Texas in the Big 12 championship game and the kind of inability to get anything going and how that really hurt him hard. And Mike Gundy wants to win. Mike Gundy is a winner, and he wants to win. However, on the other side of this, South Dakota State, that is what they do. They win. This game is a true measuring stick for them. You will not see them shell-shocked by coming into a big stadium. Like I said, they've been in the national championship the past 2 years in FCS. They have won. If you guys are not familiar with how FCS works, they've had a playoff for a while now. So you play multiple big games in a row, and South Dakota State has won all of that. They are a top-notch program. They are what North Dakota State was in the early 2010s. We kind of talked about before how North Dakota State wasn't that anymore, but they're still very good. Well, South Dakota State is that right now. I don't like them to necessarily win this game, but I also don't think they're going to get blown out by double-digit points. So right now you can get them at 12.5. We will continue to look at that number as we are taking it. We're taking whatever the number is, we're taking it for 1 unit, nothing big. We're going to continue to look at it as it gets up close to kickoff because it's been moving in favor of South Dakota State. A lot of money coming in on Oklahoma State, especially with the mismatch that they're going to have on the offensive line to South Dakota State's defensive line, and then Ollie Gordon. But again, games are only 60 minutes long. The clock runs faster in college football now, and good coaching, good game plans, experienced play. I think South Dakota State keeps this one close. So again, right now we're at 12.5. If that's what we finish at, we'll lock that in. But we're taking South Dakota State for 1 unit in this one. So that's it for the morning. Looking forward to coming at you guys this afternoon. Again, please, if you're betting with us, if you're winning with us at Baldfather, just give us a subscribe, like, comment, what your thoughts are on some of the picks. Just want to keep the interaction going. Picks will always be free. Only thing we ask for is a subscription and tune into the videos. So thank you guys again. Looking forward to getting at you this afternoon.